So the name of the NGO is Aboli Foundation. Aboli is kind of a play on words. Abol means the unspoken, and aboli is a type of flower. So the symbol of the foundation is a flower. Right now, I am aiming for the NGO to support ZP schools in Mahim, which is a small coastal village in India. And this is a village where I was born in, and so I have a very close connection to it. It's also where my mother's relatives live. And this is the village where we usually visit during my vacations. I enjoy riding my bicycle in the village, and one day I noticed a small school, and it wasn't very well built. It didn't have many facilities, and I was interested in knowing how the school was functioning with such limited resources. And so the next day I asked my grandma to come with me to inquire about what the school was doing and how they were doing. And I learned that the conditions weren't very good. My school is in Thailand, but the village is in India. So prior to leaving for India, I organized a donation drive at my school in which I collected board games, English picture books, and English chapter books. When I visited the school in India, I decided to choose something that I was quite comfortable doing. So I taught them how to play the board games because I really enjoy playing board games. And I also taught them yoga because it's an activity that I've been doing since I was very young. And it was a good bonding experience. At first, it was nerve-wracking because I'm not very good at speaking Marathi, which is the language they speak. I'm much more comfortable speaking in English, and I was at a loss of how to communicate effectively with them because I felt that they would make fun of me if I speak really horribly. But that's not what happened. They were really welcoming, and they enjoyed the games, the activities that I conducted for them, and I'm really grateful for that because without that welcomeness, I'm sure that I wouldn't have created such a deep bond with those children. The children at the school were in grades 1 to 4. After they finished the 4th grade, they moved to another school in the village, and their parents are either farm workers, laborers, or fishermen.
तर म्हणजे आता सगळ्यांचीच काही मुलांना घरी प्रॉब्लेम असतो की आपल्या घरी कोणी नाहीये, पाणी भरायचं आहे, काम आहे, मग मुलं शाळेत यायला बघत नाही किंवा मग पालक पण काही मुलं आपल्या लहान मुलाला सांभाळण्यासाठी पण ह्या छोट्या मुलांनाच घरी ठेवतात. मग अशा वेळेस आम्ही त्यांना सांगतो की त्यांचं प्रबोधन करतो की मुलांना घरी ठेवू नका, शाळेत पाठवा, वाटल्यास त्या छोट्या बाळाला पण आमच्या म्हणजे अंगणवाडीत किंवा कुठे पाठवा आणि सांभाळलं जाईल, पण मुलांचं नुकसान करू नका, शैक्षणिक नुकसान करू नका. आणि त्यांना जर गरज असेल तर तसं आम्ही म्हणजे हेल्प पण करतो, काय गरज असेल तर तशी, म्हणजे इव्हन पैशाची सुद्धा मदत करतो किंवा इतर काय गरज असेल तर तीही आम्ही मुलांची शैक्षणिक दृष्ट्या मदत करून ते हे करतो आणि पालकांचं प्रबोधन करतो की कारणाशिवाय त्यांना घरी ठेवू नका.
I'm a shy person and I try to avoid people when I can, and I've always thought that I don't really work well with children, but after this experience I'm much more comfortable working with little kids, and I really enjoyed it as well. A tendency that I have is to interact much better with the boys. I find that I have much more in common with them, and so it was difficult to actually try to talk with the girls and find out what their lives were like. But I think I was pretty successful with it in the end. The program looked something like this. We'd start in the morning with the prayers and their songs and a revision of, math, English words, things like that. And then The teachers would allow me to conduct a session for the first half of the morning before their lunch, and I would start with a yoga session which would last about 30 to 40 minutes, where I would try to get them warmed up and excited and then really tired so that they would pay more attention to the parts where we actually did study and things like that. And after that, I usually conducted some sort of board game activity, or I invited a dentist to come and talk about healthcare. I taught them English, like alphabet and basic vocabulary. Also, because I wanted them to become more exposed to English storybooks, I had a session where I made them write 5 new words from the book and then made them draw a picture from the book, which they liked. It's hard to choose a favorite memory because all of it was so enriching, but one thing that really stood out for me was when I had just entered the school. They were doing their morning prayers and all that, and then one boy came up to me from 4th grade and he gave me a garland of flowers, and it really touched my heart because he was really shy and his friends were pulling him back, but he still managed to give it to me. I still have his flowers. I've preserved them in my book. So yeah.
इम्पॉर्टंट म्हणजे काय, लोकांची धारणा काय असते, जिल्हा परिषद शाळा म्हणजे प्रायव्हेट शाळात चांगल्या, जिल्हा परिषद काही होत नाही. पण खरं तर आम्ही जिल्हा परिषद ज्या शाळा म्हणजे सर्वच शाळांमधले शिक्षक मुलं इथे कमी आहेत, आणि तरी आम्ही उलट त्यांच्याकडे वैयक्तिक जास्त लक्ष देतो. इतर शाळांमध्ये म्हणजे प्रायव्हेट शाळांमध्ये एका वर्गात जवळजवळ 60-60, 50-50 मुलं असतात आणि आमच्याकडे कमी मुलं आहेत. म्हणजे आपल्या घरच्याप्रमाणे आम्ही आमची शाळा आणि मुलांशी हे करत असतो.
दात आपण कशासाठी वापरतो सांगा बरं? म्हणजे आपण जेव्हा घडो की नाही.
On the last day, I decided to make it kind of a relaxing sort of session, and so I just played the board games with them. And when it was time to leave, it was quite sad. I was trying to hide my tears. When I reached home, the teacher, she came on her motorbike and she asked me to come outside to talk to her, and so I did. And she gave me this card that the children had made. The foundation has quite a lot of objectives. One of them includes healthcare. When I talked to the teacher, she said that there are like yearly checkups from the doctor, but the doctor doesn't really do much. He just checks their temperature and tells them if they're sick or not, which is not that helpful. So in the future, I hope to have some sort of healthcare service provided for them. One of my other goals is to improve on their English language program. I know I made a difference because after I left, the teacher sent me a message, several messages actually, telling me about what the children were doing. For instance, during recess, instead of playing outside in the dirt or whatever, they are actually using the board games that were donated and playing with them. And they're also reading the English books, which will help them tremendously. Also, the teachers have agreed to conduct a 30-minute yoga session in the morning, which is something that I brought to their school. I feel like I should have done this before. After waiting for years for something to happen, I finally decided to take it into my own hands to make a difference